my name is Pascal La Liberté, and this is my series on changing situations using mental reprogramming on yourself. And this is situation number 2, in which we pretend to be Julie, who has an opportunity to present at a conference at her work, and she's pretty stoked about it. She's actually pretty consumed by it. So let's take some time to think things through about her situation. Julie is kind of freaking out. She's really excited about this opportunity to present because she wants to improve things at her work. So she's working at the federal government, and in her department, things are really not so great. And like the culture is kind of a culture of cynicism, that things can't really be improved. There's a lot of workload issues with the rest of her team. The person that she reports to, he's sort of open to her ideas about changing the workflows and how things work. She always talks about those ideas. It's about using user-centered design approaches to improve like the services deliverables, how they handle requests for information, etc. So she talks about that, and he's kind of receptive, but he's really trying to put out some fires and making sure that his team isn't too busy with work, doesn't have too much workload. So he's using political games to push back, etc. So he's battling some other kind of thing. So she's thinking, okay, there's a way for me to present my ideas to the rest of the department. And this was set up by one of the new higher-ups at the department, who just came in and who wants to allow everybody to feel as though they can present their ideas. And so he put together a one-day seminar. And that one-day seminar sounds pretty exciting to Julie, and her getting carried away by this idea of presenting is a red flag for her. She wants to sit down and she wants to think things through. What is it she's trying to do? What is the outcome that she'd like to get out of this? What does she think is going to happen after she presents, and for whom, etc.? Is she going down this path with certain biases or certainties that are not really grounded in truth? But more importantly, if she has a shot at making a difference and at doing something that is going to have an impact, she wants to do it well. She wants to have the impact that's going to be well received, or is going to be incisive, and it's going to shake things up. She wants to be the authority on the matter, etc. She wants to do this well. So she also wants to discern, is this a good idea or not? Should we go with the presentation, or is this a waste of my time, basically? She wants to invest a bit of time to do that. So let's start. She starts with the document, and she starts with doing the following exercise. She decides to look at the end of the presentation. Let's suppose that we're at the end of the presentation, and let's say things went really well. Really well. Like, she's pumped about what just happened. And let's visualize what that looks like. So she starts with this. Before the end of my presentation, I'll have obtained the openness to my design thinking suggestions, and obtain someone from my team to be open about the ideas, and also obtained a higher up to be open about the ideas. So now she wants to turn the tables a bit. What about what the other team members will want out of this? What about the higher ups? What will they be expecting out of my talk? So members of my team will have obtained a way to reduce their workload. She's thinking that's probably what they're most concerned about. And the higher ups will have obtained a way to improve the morale, obtain ideas about how to reduce the workload, and also obtain ideas about how to streamline everybody's work. But now she thinks maybe this is all false. Maybe this is predicated on the wrong things. So she's pretty convinced that people want reduced workload. And that's a red flag for her. She's not really too sure about that. So she adds a new section to her document, and it's called the section called mental models. So these two ideas, these before lists, is what I call have done lists. It's a special kind of list that allows you to visualize. And the second type of list is mental models. You can learn more about these two types of lists in the intro video linked to below in the description. So mental models are this ability to shine a light on what you're thinking subconsciously. The thing that you're probably convinced of that you haven't put down on paper, you haven't pinpointed, and once you do, you can allow yourself to rewrite it. So in this case, she's pretty sure that the rest of my team wants to reduce their workload. And that's the underlying assumption. And she corrects herself. Yeah, maybe, but maybe they just want to make sure they don't lose their jobs. And that's actually probably right. So in this case, she's going for a presentation that's going to help them get excited about their workload getting reduced because we'll have a more streamlined workflow using design thinking to do that. But maybe that's not what people want out of this. She's actually not sure that the people in her team will come to her presentation because she's always harping about this idea of design thinking, and they're like, whatever, and they're not really excited about it. So already she's thinking, why would I present them? Why would they want to come if they're not excited about this? So that's one red flag. Now she's thinking about the mental models she might have about what the higher ups are expecting out of this idea of the presentation or about this day of this mini seminar. So one thing she put her finger down on is maybe the higher ups want to just find quick ways to improve the work, not anything big or deep. That actually might be true. And maybe they need to cut down on costs or waste, in which case I might have a case, I might have an idea, that's what she's thinking, because I may be able to make the case for it. Now she's thinking about her coworkers now. If I present my ideas just to help the higher ups, meaning there's no real way that my coworkers will be interested in this. My coworkers will feel as though I'm trying to look good. And she's thinking, well, that's actually not my problem. But it sort of is. So it tells a lot about the situation she's in. It's at a place where there's a lot of cynicism, a lot of people not really wanting to come to work these days. They look at this new seminar, this Monday seminar, as just an opportunity for the higher ups to look good, and that there's really no substance behind this. People don't actually think anything will come out of it. And so if Julie participates in this day of this seminar, then it'll further entrench her as being on the side of the higher ups. You see how it's all messed up? Now she's thinking, it's probably not a good idea for me to present at all. Actually, I now have to prepare a way for me to get out of this department because it's not actually going to get any better for another 5 years, she's thinking. And so now she's thinking, should I even bother presenting? So at the beginning she was all excited. Finally we're going to be able to address my ideas or to start talking about this idea of design thinking. But now she's thinking it's probably not even worth it. It's probably going to cause more harm than anything else. But there's more to it than this. And in the second part of this video coming up, we'll go further with this, because now we're getting into the games of the cynicism and stuff like that. And if you really want to bring about change, and if you really want to be helpful to improve situations, you can't just stop there. You have to go beyond that. Maybe it is a case that she really has to leave the place, in which case she would have to create another have-done list that says before I leave, etc. Or maybe there's a case for her to actually go forth and prepare a presentation that's actually going to be really helpful. So now we're going to put that aside. Next time we're going to pick it up from here and maybe even start from new lists and new timelines and new ways of looking at and slicing the situation. So stay tuned for that. And if you want to be notified, just click below the subscribe button if you haven't already, and you'll be notified when the second video is out. And also, if you'd like to talk to me, if you'd like for us to talk over your specific situation, look below at my webpage on the Change Anything kit, where you can schedule a time to talk to me, and there's some free slots and there's also some paid slots depending on my availability. So check out that too. And thanks for watching, and continue to be really thoughtful about the situations you want to improve and your role in making that happen.